It's an awesome day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors, wherever you are watching this video across the world. I greet you specially. Good evening, good morning, depending on your time zone. And I'm super delighted to welcome you to another insightful and, of course, educative session of Property Matters. In case you're seeing a video like this for the first time, my name is Adejari, and I'm your host here on Property Matters. Property Matter is a real estate YouTube talk show where we expose you to the fundamentals and all the activities. More importantly, we emphasize on how to invest rightly as far as the Lagos State real estate market is concerned. So, in case you're coming across a video like this for the first time, do well to subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell so that when I drop a video, a very important personality like you will be the very first person to see it. Property Matter talks about crucial and topical issues that concerns the Lagos State real estate market. If you're a serial real estate investor or you're a first-time real estate investor and you need important information that will help you invest rightly in the Lagos State real estate market, this YouTube channel should be a priority. Once again, do well to subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that when I drop a video, a very important personality like you will get to see it. And of course, all the important issues and topics we discuss on Property Matters are available on this channel. At your leisure time, you can check some of our playlists. I can assure you that you are going to learn a whole lot. More importantly, if you are interested in the Lagos State real estate market. So on today's episode of Property Matters, we're going to be talking about income generating real estate assets and how you can get the best out of your real estate investment. Over time, I've had a whole lot of inquiries, and over time, we've been able to give an extensive and elaborative explanations based on the requests we've had, more importantly, from all our real estate investors. And when you look at the way the Lagos State real estate market is structured, you will understand that real estate is actually subdivided into various categories. The very first categories of real estate, and the one that most people are very familiar with, is what we call the land banking system. Okay, the land banking system is a system whereby you buy some expanse of land, you leave it for a while, and you resell at a higher cost. More importantly, when civilization is open to such location. Of course, we have the off plan. Off plan is buy and wait. And of course, what happens basically off plan is that as you pay the real estate developer builds, and by the time the project is completed, your fundamental documents and your keys will be handed over to you. Then we also have the luxury market, whereby people buy already built apartments. Okay. Then we also have people who also buy lands. Okay, in developed places. Now, these are the major categories of real estate investment that most real estate investors are familiar with. And well, this category of real estate investment is not bad, but basically a whole lot of people have invested in all these models that I just explained, and they are still yet to get the best out of it. And what could possibly be the reasons why they will be unable, to reap their, maximum return on investment. And when you look at when these properties and these listings are being projected to real estate investors over time, they've told them that they're going to get this and this return, and the reverse has always been a case. And this is why I decided to talk about income generating real estate investments. Now, when you want to involve or you want to invest in a real estate asset that will, okay, give you guaranteed return on investment, either through resale or through rental income. Now, there are some fundamental factors that a real estate investor must look out for. And I've had several instances where real estate investors have told me that they are, unable to look out for this. Of course, that's why we're here. We can help you look out for those factors, and of course, give you an expert advice on what you should do. More importantly, if you are going into any form of real estate investment. So, what are those fundamental things that a real estate investor needs to look out for if you are prioritizing income generating real estate. The very first thing, pardon me, that a good real estate investor, more importantly, someone who wants to get good return on investment, is the location. Now, over time, the people have misinterpreted and given lies on locations, and that is why a lot of real estate investors have invested in properties that obviously at the moment is not useful. Now, when you look at what has happened over time, a lot of people have invested in properties 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and then the property is still here to give them cash flow, either through rental or through short let. And this is what we're going to be talking about this. Now, apart from the land banking system that most real estate investors are familiar with, should a good real estate investor go into land banking? Of course, I believe that every form of us have different priorities for investment. But I'm glad to announce to our real estate investors today that there are good alternative real estate investment options. And I'm going to be explaining that today. The very first investment alternative that a real estate investor should look at is what we call leasehold. Leasehold. Now, when we talk about leasehold, a leasehold is a form of an investment that enables you to take possession temporarily on a particular property for a specified period of years. Like for instance, I've seen instances whereby we have 15-year leasehold, we have 17-year leasehold, we have 20 years leasehold, we have 23 years leasehold. Now, what is now the difference between a leasehold and a land banking system or any other form of real estate investment that you are already familiar with? Now, what happens in a leasehold basically is that the leasehold gives you an opportunity to own an apartment. It could be a studio apartment, it could be a one-bedroom apartment, it could be a two-bedroom apartment. Now, the advantage of this leasehold basically is that these properties are situated in places where you can get rental income. Yes. Most of the leasehold that I've come across, the ones I've seen, the one I've scrutinized, the one I've evaluated, most of these leasehold, majority of them are on the mainland for a start. We have maybe one or two on the island. Now, these properties are situated either in where we have tertiary institutions, where we have already built up areas, in places like Yaba, in places like Surulere, in places like Bagada, in places like other important parts of the mainland. Now, the advantage of leasehold compared to the land banking system is that once you have a leasehold, okay, you have the opportunity, okay, to rent out that apartment, make yearly or annual rental income, and before the expiration of that leasehold, you would have made back your return, okay, of investment, and you will also make profits, okay, on that investment. So you can use the turnover, okay, of that, what you have made as profit, and invest it in other real estate choices or real estate listings that best suit your needs. Now, to me, a leasehold apartment is a good alternative to land banking. I'm not saying land banking is not good, but some of the land bankings that majority of real estate investors have done have not given them that return that they anticipated. Although I've seen instances whereby realtors will call their client, the land you bought for 3 million is now worth is now worth 7 million, is now worth 8 million. Now the reality is that you don't claim to have an appreciation on the property until that money is either in a physical cash or in your bank account, where you can say, okay, fine, this capital appreciation is genuine. This capital appreciation is real. I'm not talking about audio money or audio appreciation. I'm talking about real cash. Okay. So if you have done land banking and you have a lot of properties in your portfolios and their land banking, you should be looking at diversifying and looking at leasehold. Like I said, most of these leasehold apartments are located in already existing built up areas. Some are very close to institutions, some are very close to companies, some are very close to environment whereby you can get a tenant, and of course for the before the expiration of the rate, you recoup your investment and you make good return. Now, other alternative investment opportunities apart from leasehold is what we call studio and hostel accommodation. And most of the things I've seen, I've been to some of these. I've done several inspections. That was the last time I was at Yaba. I visited Surulere and other parts of the mainland. And I can tell you, real estate investors, that instead of putting all your physical cash on land banking, you should start prioritizing all these investments, because the truth of the matter is they are good. Now, I've seen instances where studio apartments are sold for 8 million, studio apartments are sold for 12 million. It depends on the location, and of course, it depends as at the time that apartment was completed. Now, the good thing basically is that looking at the mainland, more importantly, the Yaba area, we have several institutions, nine precisely: the University of Lagos, the Yaba Tech, the Federal College of Education, FCE. We also have Augustine University in Yaba. Of course, the one many people are familiar with is the one in Ekpe. Yes, we have Augustine University in Ekpe. We also have it in Yaba. We also have the Trinity University. We have several universities on the mainland. Okay. Now, the challenge that these school administration are presently faced with is that these schools are been struggling to provide adequate hostel accommodation for all their students, and that is why people are going to leasehold. Some people are going to studio apartments, and obviously, for some time right now, it has been profitable. The last time I was at the University of Lagos, I saw a private hostel that Unilag also had. Yes, Unilag had a private hostel, and I found out that yeah, we have the hostel in two categories. We have the two-bed hostel, the two bunk hostel where we have just two roommates, and we also have the four bunk hostel where we have the four roommates hostel. So they are of different categories. And I also find out that for bed space, those people, as at that time I did that extensive research, were paying 310,000 annually. So when you calculate 310,000 for just two bunk space, you understand that that is over 620,000. And if you are a student, okay, you are expected to pay that month, that rent for just 6 months. That means 3 months for first semester, 3 months for second semester. Once that 6 months has expired, your rent is due for what? Renewing. So that means someone that owns that kind of bed space or that kind of hostel accommodation makes at least more than 1.2 million naira on a yearly basis, which obviously is a very good investment. And when you find out, if you are buying an hostel accommodation on lease, you receive for 5 million, you receive for 8 million, you receive for 10, depending on the location. And but the thing is that they are on lease. Okay, you get to own them for some period of time. Then after that expiration of that period, you may be open to what, to renew your lease and still making your income. Now, studio apartment. Why should you go into studio apartment? Now, as a real estate investment strategist, I'm always emphasizing on diversification. As a real estate investor, if you've had a lot of land banking, you have a lot of off plan in your portfolio, then you start prioritizing having okay studio apartment that you can rent to the main to the students. More importantly, in all these tertiary institutions that I have mentioned. So you should diversify, and when you diversify, you will now be able to do an evaluation to assess, okay, this land banking I've done for 5 years, this land banking I've done for 6 years, how much have I gotten back, okay, as a physical cash? When you look at that, leasehold in 2 years, in 3 years, you can make something really substantial. So that obviously is also, so we have studio apartments, we have two-bedroom apartments. Now, the reason why doing either lease or owning property forever on the mainland is is a good idea. Basically, is that the mainland has an existing market, and there are agencies that by the time you have bought that apartment and they are aware that you are the owner of that apartment, they will be the one to contact you for renting. Okay, and of course, so we have an existing market for your rental properties on the mainland. I'm going to say this again: you have an existing market for your rental properties on the mainland compared to some places on the island. I met a real estate investor that bought a property at Abramadesoya. This is almost 1 year plus now since she has paid for the property, gotten her keys. She's still yet to find a tenant for the apartment she bought, I think closer to 50 something or 54 million naira. That obviously can never ever happen on the mainland. So you need to diversify. So when you're buying real estate, don't just put it in one location. A lot of Most of my real estate investors will say, I just want to have it on the island, which is of course the island is fantastic. But as a real estate investor, you should look at other investors. So you can look at studio apartments. You can have own as many studio apartments and rent it out. Like I said, there's an existing market. There are tenants. And when you look at the mainland, for important, let's look at Yaba. Proximity of Yaba to island is less than 10 to 15 minutes drive. Proximity of Yaba to the Murtala Muhammad International Airport is 25 minutes. The proximity of Yaba to other places of Ushodi, Ikeja is very, very accessible. 10 to 15 minutes drive, you're already at this location. So this location is very central. So holding properties or structuring your real estate investment in that location is a fantastic idea. And by the time you're able to do that, you'll be able to tell the difference of the land banking you've done for 5 years that you have not gotten, a feedback compared to the leasehold or the own for life investment that we have. So as a real estate investment, you start looking at this, and by the time you begin to diversify and you're doing your own, assessment and evaluation, you'll be able to tell that on these places is very, very much profitable. Now, one thing I also like about the mainland real estate market basically is that one bedroom is being rented for 1.5 million. 1.5 million naira will rent you two-bedroom on the highlands, so Gotedo and other places. 2.5 will get you two-bedroom apartments on the mainland. That same 2.5 million will get you an apartment somewhere around, let's say, Ajah, like 3.5 million naira will get you a three-bedroom apartment also in Yaba. And of course, with 3.5, you can get a duplex on the mainland. Now, why is this price variation? This is because the mainland is an hot cake, more importantly for renters. See, when you are investing in real estate, you should be able to identify and understand your purpose and understand the tremendous difference that we have there. Now, a whole lot of people, as beautiful and as attractive as the island is, some people will never ever come to the island. Why? Because of the fact that traffic is an issue, flooding, more importantly, those Lekki access is an issue. So some people prefer, to stay on the mainland. Now, why the mainland? The main markets are there. Most of the people that are buying car parts still go to Ladipo, Oshodi. The people that are buying computer software, computer accessories still go to Ikeja. So most of the big markets are still on the mainland. Now, when you look at some of these big tech companies, all these IT companies, majority of them are in Yaba. We have them in Ikeja, so they are still scattered on the island. So for proximity and for the sake of business and of course traffic free access, some people will still choose to stay on the mainland. And as far as I'm concerned, okay, the mainland real estate market is very, very underrated, and that is why we come online to explain to you real estate investor that the income generating asset that you've always wanted um, should also each can be found not only on the island here. We'll find several of them on the mainland. So these are how you can generate steady cash flow, how your assets, more importantly, your rental properties, can give you guaranteed, okay, income through rentals. Now, the beautiful thing about the mainland is that you can rent shortlet. It's being rented for 70,000 per night, 80,000, depending on the management and depending on the facilities we have there. Okay, when you look at the light is more constant on the mainland than on the highland. So we believe that the development on the highland is gradual, but the mainland is where the market is. So if you have your rental properties, there was a particular time I went to inside Abidjan GRA where that choice garden, found out that some bungalows have been abandoned. In fact, grasses have started growing, okay, on some part of some of those bungalows, those apartments. Majority of them that are in that Abidjan GRA axis, they are still out there. In fact, I even went to Shongotedu to some of the apartments that was built by Lagos State government. So I found out that all those two bedroom apartments that Lagos State government has built are still empty. Now they are still looking for residents. So in most cases that obviously cannot happen on the mainland. As you're building, even at the foundation stage, your apartments are rented, like fully rented. If it's for shortlet, they are fully booked. So these are the investment opportunities, and this is why as a real estate investor you need to diversify. Ekpe is wonderful. As you're doing Ekpe, you can grab one or two leasehold. Now the disadvantage for this leasehold and the mainland real estate market basically is that they don't allow lengthy payment plan, and I will explain. Now most of the developers on the mainland are looking at delivering that project, okay, within the shortest time. So if you are buying an off plan, all these apartments on the mainland, the highest you will see is 1 year payment plan. And within that 1 year, the house is delivered and, of course, made available because the market is there. In fact, in some cases, there are some places whereby on the island here, a developer can do a project for more than 3 years, 4 years, they have not delivered. And by the time you begin to, call them, they will show this kind of, on the mainland, once a developer is building an install, other developments are coming and are saying, okay, should we do a joint venture? Okay, we share the profit. So you don't get to see abandoned projects on the mainland. Why? Because the market is there, because the competition is there, because the forces are there. So you understand. So that's just the beautiful thing about the mainland real estate market. So this is where I'm going to draw the curtain of today's episode of income generating real estate market. So the major income generating real estate market are in those lease apartments, those studio apartments, those one or two, three bedroom apartments that we have scattered across the mainland. And of course, you can see from my explanation that the mainland real estate market is being underestimated. Until I come your way again in another exciting and of course educative session of property matters, I am Adijari, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. God bless you, and I'll see you in my next video.